Hey, Donnell, how are you today?
Hi, Jackie. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I like that title, Girl Power. Yeah,
Girl Power Hour in the house,
I love it. That's so good.
which is why we love you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'm just going to get right into it.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about Goddess of Vengeance, your new novel, and the revival of one of your most popular characters, Lucky Santangelo. I've always been drawn towards your cast of strong women, of course,
Yes.
namely Lucky. And what is she up to now in Goddess of Vengeance, and what's next for her?
Well, in Goddess of Vengeance, she's happily married to Lenny, her gorgeous husband who's been around for years. She has Max, her daughter, is just about to celebrate her 18th birthday, so there's going to be a big party in Las Vegas. And her son, Bobby, is busy seeing Denver, who's the girl he hooked up with in Poor Little Bitch Girl, the previous book. So Lucky's doing good. I mean, she's very friendly with Venus. They're having a great time. She goes to Vegas to oversee Max's birthday party. And meanwhile, there's this character that I'm writing called Armand Jordan, who's a very, very bad man indeed. He comes from a fictitious country in the Middle East. He comes to America and he becomes a big property mogul. But he has this kind of contempt for women. He cannot stand women. He thinks they're nothing. They're just baby factories or they're there for sex. And his predilection is hookers. So he's really a bad guy. He comes to Las Vegas and he decides he wants to buy the keys. So he says to his right-hand man, you know, I want to buy the keys. And the guy says, well, you know, you can't. It belongs to Lucky Santangelo. And he says, are you telling me it belongs to a woman? And the guy says, yeah. And he goes, I can have anything I want, especially from a woman. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose because Lucky no way is going to sell her fabulous Keys Hotel complex.
You know, I've been reading your book since I was 15 years old, and I know that she would not let a guy take her down. So I'm excited to read about that.
Yeah.
So you live a really glamorous life in Las Vegas and Hollywood. Do you ever feel like a character in one of your own novels?
Only when I'm out and about doing this, you know what I mean? Other
Yeah.
than that, I'm in my house and I'm working, I'm writing. I love nothing better than getting up in the morning and life's an adventure and I'm going to write all day and I'm creating new characters and I'm writing a new book now called The Power Trip, which will be out next year. And so, yeah, but when I'm traveling and people are kind of being really nice to me and, you know, stopping me in the street and stuff like that, it does feel like I'm a character from one of my own novels.
Yeah, I bet.
It's kind of fun,
And
though.
I bet that must be really exciting. And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So I mean, what is the difference between your life now and life when you first started? I mean, you are the undisputed queen of the blockbuster novel, if you will, and the epitome of a strong, powerful woman, which we love over here at Girl Power Hour.
Yeah, I
What's
bet.
changed?
Well, nothing really. I've always been in control of my own life. You know, I was thrown out of school when I was 15, and from that moment on, I took control of my own life. I was street smart. I came to America when I was 15. I lived in a Melrose Place type apartment complex where I saw all these characters. You know, they were actually parking cars and pumping gas, wanting to be screenwriters, wanting to be movie stars. And so I was one of life's great observers. I loved watching all of this. And when I started to write, I wanted to write really strong women because in the books that I was reading, and I was an avid reader, I did not find any strong women.
Well, yeah, and you know, I want to say that just growing up, I really looked up to you and your novels, and it's been really wonderful seeing these powerful, strong women. I think that's what really been drawn to. So thank you for doing that. And just talking a little bit about your greatest inspirations, it sounds kind of like a little bit of a rags to riches story. But what are your greatest inspirations, and how did you really get started as a writer?
Well, I always wanted to write. So when I was 8 years old, I remember it so distinctly in London. My mother had taken me to the swimming baths. There was a public swimming baths, and it was a beautiful day. And we never had good weather in London, but it was just this glorious day. And I remember coming back from the swimming pool and going into our apartment and putting up my father's card table and laying out my notebooks and my little pens. And I just started to write because I wasn't happy at school. I didn't like schoolwork. I found it incredibly boring. And I thought, I want to create a different world for myself. And I want to create a world where there are women that are stronger than the women I'm reading about. I was reading an English author called Enid Blyton, who was fabulous. But once again, you know, the girls didn't do as much as the boys did. And then, of course, when I was 13, I started reading Harold Robbins. And that's when I really got into it. And I knew from a young age that what I was going to do was tell stories. I was an actress when I was a teenager for a very short while, and I always considered myself an out-of-work writer. So I knew that this is what I was going to do, and I followed my dream. And anybody out there should follow their dream, because I was thrown out of school, as I said, and everybody said to me, you can't be a writer. You've got to get degrees. You've got to do this. You've got to go to college. And I said, screw it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I am following my dream. I'm going to write books. And 28 books later, here I am.
Yeah. You really are living proof that following your dream is super important, and that's one of the things that we tell our women. And we need women like you, and we need to hear your story, because oftentimes we don't get to hear this side.
No,
so
I sometimes do
very
go,
excited to hear this.
Yeah, thank you. I go and speak at women's events sometimes, and I find that they feel that I'm very inspirational, because I do tell them that they have to go out and do something with their lives other than just waiting for a guy to come along, you know?
Exactly.
Because 10 years later, you've got a couple of kids, and he's slaving over a hot secretary.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got to follow that feeling inside for sure.
And I talk to a lot of women through Twitter too. I'm Jackie J. Collins on Twitter, and they come to me, you know, and they'll say things and tell me things, and I ask questions, and we go back and forth. And I love the fact today that we have this fabulous social media that you can communicate with people, and I communicate with my readers. I mean, I know that this week they're all going to be telling me what they think of Goddess of Vengeance, which character they like best, you know, what they think of the cover, what they think of my TV appearances. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. Did you ever dream that you would be starting out a New York Times bestselling author of 27 novels? Did you think that would ever happen?
I never thought it would happen. I really didn't. But I, you know, in my mind, maybe I did think it would happen, because, you know, when I wrote The World is Full of Married Men, which was way, way back, it was a book way before its time. In fact, I was told to take out all the four-letter words because I was banned in Australia. And so I took out all the four-letter words, and I was banned in Australia. So now I'm thinking of rewriting the book, not rewriting it, but kind of putting back what I took out, and then putting it up on ebooks as a, you know, kind of so people can read it and see the difference of my writing now and my writing then. And I think it's interesting to watch the progress of a writer.
Yeah. Well, that's some juicy gossip. We'll look out for that for sure.
The world is
Do you
full of
have
married
any?
men.
Do you have any advice for aspiring novelists or women that just, you know, are thinking about a dream that they want to follow and they're not sure?
I have this slogan that I use a lot: girls can do anything. And women have to be strong, and they have to look after themselves, and they have to have something in life that they're passionate about. I mean, even if it's making cupcakes and selling them at the deli round the corner, there is something that you're passionate about. Even if it's sewing, whatever it is, have something that's all your own that you can do and that you can make money doing. And if you think about it, there really is something that you're good at, and you can follow that dream and do it. And if you want to write, then get out that pen, get out that pad of paper. I'm not saying that you'll ever be published, but at least you're doing it. You're trying.
Well, Jackie, you are a real inspiration, and you are all about girl power. And so we're so excited to have talked to you today. It's been an honor chatting with you. I thank you for taking the time, and best of luck with Goddess of Vengeance and everything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great talking to you today, too.